This is the Big E, the Enterprise, the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the largest ship in the world. Displacement of over 85,000 tons, 230 miles of pipe, 625 miles of electrical cable, 1 million electronic tubes and transistors. Yes, the Big E is aptly named. It's been called, and rightly so, a floating city. Like most large cities, it has its own airport, its own metal and woodworking shops, offices, electrical repair shops, trucks and vehicles of all kinds, cranes to handle the big chores, elevators to speed the flow of materials, winches to put muscle into the lines, and its own post office, hospital, newspaper plant, and even its own TV studio. It has laundrymen, tailors, cobblers, dentists, storekeepers, barbers, bakers, cooks, and of course a police force all its own. At sea, when men are working round the clock, the mess lines are open 19 hours a day. There are 2 galleys, one fore, one aft, to handle the job of feeding 4,600 enlisted men and officers over 14,000 meals daily. Practically, the entire ship is air-conditioned. Each bunk, in fact, has its own adjustable air conditioning outlet. Yes, whatever the folks back on land have, the Big E has too, including machines. Machines of many different shapes, many different sizes, for many and varied purposes. And here on the Enterprise, many machines float in their own sea, a sea of lubricating oil as important to the machine as the ocean is to the ship. Without lubricants, no machine can run. Lubricating oil means life to the Big E, even as it does to the countless machines Americans depend on ashore. What exactly does lubricating oil do? Basically, lubricating oil prevents gears, wheels, and other mechanical moving parts from coming into contact. Yet it allows the transmission of energy from one part to another. Oil smooths the way for massive pistons or delicate springs. When it is made into grease, it protects rods and gears. As a coolant, it prevents these tools from burning up. When blended with other substances, it can literally perform 1,000 different tasks. But basically, its function is to minimize friction. With the arrival of nuclear power, a new dimension was added to the problem of lubrication. For example, aboard the Enterprise, deep in the hull, behind protective barriers, lie the nuclear reactors which can drive this giant carrier around the world many times without refueling. Ships with such prolonged operating potential must be free from the possible by the oils and greases that coat the Enterprise's various propulsion units, especially engineered for ships at sea. The Enterprise, which represents the latest technological advances in propulsion plants, uses these time-tested and proven lubricants. In addition, another nuclear-powered vessel designed for commercial application, the NS Savannah, served as a floating laboratory for the testing of the petroleum industry's lubricating oils. Besides this testing aboard the Savannah under operating conditions, one of the world's largest research laboratories, owned by an oil company, conducted further tests and screening of the many and varied lubricants required for nuclear applications. One such test was the exposing of oils to the gamma waves of cobalt-60 to determine their stability under any unforeseen exposure to radiation. In each test, the aim was to select the best lubricant for the job. Inside the radiation room, various samples are spread around a raised ring to be exposed to doses of radiation. A door 5 feet thick seals off the radiation room. When all is secure, a button is pressed and hollow steel pencils filled with cobalt-60 appear to expose the oil to powerful doses of gamma rays. A door is closed to safeguard the 42 inches of special protective glass. The tests continue for months to screen out unsuitable lubricants. Once the screening tests are passed, the most versatile lubricants with the best records of performance in industry are chosen. Additives in lubricating oil, though a comparatively new technique in lubricating, are finding increasing uses all the time. These chemicals, which prevent rust, bolster viscosity, and do dozens of other internal chores, have materially contributed to the successful conquest of wear and oxidation, which helps not only to make our nuclear-powered ships go, but also to act as a continuing, indispensable factor in the operation of all our ships in the fleet. In most phases of activity in which atomic energy may someday play a part, lubricants will keep the machines moving. This is the oil which now coats the gears of the main propulsion unit. Yes, oil makes the Enterprise go in 1,000 ways. To see just what it means to this ship, let's live with the crew of the Enterprise for a day at sea. It is a few minutes after dawn, somewhere in the Atlantic. Here on the bridge, men are on watch. On the mast above, radar is probing the distant sky.
Reveille, all hands heave out, trice up. Smoking lamp is lighted in all authorized spaces.
Out on the flight deck, the jet planes are poised to catapult into a new day's operations. The bombers can be accelerated into the air from a standing start at the rate of 1 every 15 seconds using the ship's 4 catapults. It is here that lubricating oil faces another real challenge. At speeds approaching sound, the jet engines heat up rapidly. The oil must not fail in this furnace-like temperature. High engine speeds heat and thin the oil. Intensive oil industry research has ensured that this oil will continue to function at peak efficiency even under the most severe operating conditions. Petroleum research has developed lubricants that maintain a tough lubricating film at these high temperatures. Operating throughout the day, these thirsty jets require a lot of fuel. Spaces in the Enterprise, which would normally carry boiler fuel, have been converted for jet fuel, extending her capacity and thereby increasing the operating capability of the... While some jets continue to fly, others require maintenance. This giant of the sea carries over 100 different kinds of lube oil for her multi-purpose operations, each with its own especially engineered composition. The Enterprise's extra capacity for fuel below decks makes her the largest floating service station in existence. Carrying oil for fueling her escort ships permits extended fleet operations at sea without shore support, and greater mobility and flexibility than ever before known to fleet commanders. This independence pays off in a completely self-sustaining airbase, an optimum weapon system for deterrence of limited war anywhere in the world. Up on the bridge, the captain awaits the return of the last aircraft. And here they come. Touchdown at 150 miles an hour, slamming into the arresting cable, then on to the elevators within seconds, to be whisked below and secured on the hangar deck. Now the day is over. Time to relax and rest. These men of the Navy and these scientists of the oil industry, though they may never meet, are partners. For it is only research, painstaking, never-ending research, that makes mechanical miracles like the Enterprise a reality. This, then, is the Big E, one of the truly great scientific accomplishments of modern times. A powerful instrument for the defense of the United States. A testimony to the wonders of the technology of modern industry applied to our nuclear age. A seagoing metropolis carrying the American flag around the world.